I'm going to tell you something about Samuel Kercheval. Him and Jefferson out smoking corn silk. Kercheval told him, Thomas, I don't know about this country. Might want to start again.
He quit.
So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably. Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could like live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And she, I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble. Excuse me. When it goes to court here, is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bouncing him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
Ten seconds remaining.
It'll be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
Five, 3.
Red 57! Red 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
And good evening. We welcome you into the CityNet Statewide Sportsline on this Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. Brad Howe, Greg Hunter with you in our Health Plan Studios, and we're glad you're with us. However, you may be listening or watching the show. We're glad you're alongside us. Coach Hunter, welcome, and good evening to you. Good to see you.
Well, welcome home.
Well, thank you. Rough trip, Coach Hunter.
Yeah. Wasn't the best of one.
Rough trip, and we will get into that coming up here in just a matter of minutes. Tough loss, obviously, last night in Manhattan to a wounded and wobbling K-State team, but they got right, unfortunately, against our Mountaineers last night. We'll break that all down coming up in just a couple of minutes. We're also going to talk a little Mountain East Conference tournament. That is underway up in Wheeling. We have 2 women's quarterfinal games in the books from earlier today, 2 men's games on tap, including one that has just tipped off. Frostburg State against West Virginia State, a 7-10 matchup, and that just got going. Davis and Elkins in Point Park, an 8-9 game coming up immediately following the first game of the evening session at West Banco Arena. Jack Withrow, our buddy from down in Charleston, who will be on the call for some of these games. There's radio and TV coverage as usual. You can find that Mountain East Conference site as we get later in the week. Those championship games will appear on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. There's also radio coverage, so all kinds of coverage of that Mountain East Conference tournament. Jack's a part of it. He'll be with us at the bottom of the hour to recap today, preview tonight, and then a look ahead to Thursday and Friday. Also, big weekend for West Virginia football, Coach Hunter. Spring practice begins on Saturday. We'll get into a little football talk as well. As always, we'll get into your text also, 304-8255-304. That's 304 Talk 304. We'd love to hear from you, so fire those away. We'll get into those as we move throughout the show as well. But we begin with what was no other way to describe it, Coach Hunter, just a brutal, disappointing loss last night in Manhattan. That was a Kansas State team it's well documented by now. I know you guys talked about it leading into the game. Interim head coach, their leading scorer in P.J. Haggerty, the number 3 leading scorer in the country, out for that game last night. West Virginia with a golden opportunity in front of it after that win against BYU back on Saturday. Came out of the gate in the first half, and it was one of those, it didn't look great, and you weren't comfortable, and you really honestly should have been up 10 or 12 at the half. You were getting everything you wanted shot-wise. I mean, the number of missed shots close to the basket was staggering early, and I was watching that, the West Virginia end, and thought, you know what, this is going to be fine. Kansas State's not interested in guarding here. And on the other end, West Virginia was getting exactly what it wanted defensively. It was pushing the ball to the side. The middle was closed off. Kansas State couldn't get in there. You held them to, 23 points at the half, and I thought, all right, this is going to be all right. You'll get going in the second half. West Virginia's had some good second halves. It'll get going in the second half. You'll be fine. And, man, I couldn't have been more wrong. Just a stunning, staggering 21-0 run by the Wildcats really puts you behind the 8 ball, but yet didn't die. Here comes West Virginia. Seems to play their best ball when they get behind by double digits. A furious comeback, got it all the way to 3 with the ball and an open look, but couldn't get over the hump, and you fall in Manhattan.
Yeah, about as ragged of first 30 minutes offensively as West Virginia has had, because even when they were playing with the lead in the first half, like you said, it just never felt like West Virginia got any kind of rhythm. I mean, 2 players off the bench had a vast majority of their points in the first half, and DJ Thomas had and Chance Moore had a vast majority of what West Virginia got, but the starters just couldn't find any kind of rhythm, missed a ton of shots at the rim, as well as almost everything from outside. So was not a performance that you're going to write home about. And we've seen others, but to me that was about as ragged offensively as I've seen West Virginia, because then you also had some turnover issues, some bad – and again, it wasn't always just the number, but the timing of it, because actually Kansas State ended up with more turnovers than West Virginia, but West Virginia was badly behind in the points off turnover category.
Correct.
Which is a bit of an oddity, but just the timing of those turnovers and the severity of those live ball turnovers really hurt West Virginia.
Yeah, there were a couple things, and where I will give K-State credit, their defensive plan, and this is not unique, this is what teams have been doing, is they again, with the face guarding and the doubling whenever Honor had the ball, and they just simply were daring someone else on West Virginia to beat them, which is exactly the approach you should take. West Virginia was not able to do that well enough to get over the hump. DJ and Chance were very good offensively in the first half that allowed you to get out to that lead, even though it was minor. But in the second half, the defense really left you, and that's more what surprised me, is that the defense got out of whack, and Kansas State was starting to able to attack you inside, and then we're getting rewarded by going inside with the fouls being called and getting to the free throw line. So that was one of the big areas. If you look back at this is a couple of things that were staggering. This is a Kansas State team that came into this game 15th in the Big 12 in free throw attempt rate. So you take your free throw attempts divided by your field goal attempts.
So next to last,
second to last.
Yeah.
And then here in Morgantown, they only attempted 4 free throws in the entire game. It was one of the keys to beating them. Ross's mantra of guard without fouling, you did it perfectly here in Morgantown. Not the case. A 51% free throw attempt rate last night for Kansas State. That was a season high, obviously. I probably don't need to tell you that. They got 29% of their points off free throw, made free throws. So they not only got to the line, then they made more than their average once they got there. So they were very good there. You mentioned the turnovers. Kansas State got 31% of its points off turnovers. That's 60% of its points came from free throws or points off turnovers. 60% of its points just off those two categories.
Yeah,
got to the line
stunning.
25 times last night, and that was something that stunned me as well, that they were rewarded that often and were able to get to the line and then make them. McGriff was a big factor. He did not play in the game here in Morgantown. I thought he had a really nice game and presented some problems. Harlan Obioha in foul trouble most of the night. Really didn't play in the second half. I think he got 3 minutes in the second half. So the lane was open inside. When Harlan goes out, teams immediately attack inside. They were able to last night as Kamari McGriff ends with a team-high 18 points in that game.
It is interesting. I mean, without Haggerty, you think that Kansas State would really struggle. And they did struggle for obviously throughout the entire first half. But it was almost like some of their other guys go, oh, you know what? We got a chance to make some shots and take some shots as well. Not just McGriff, but others. And they figured it out, and especially during that stretch in the second half when they went on that huge run. They didn't need Haggerty.
I think that's exactly what happened, and quite frankly, that was the conversation we were having internally beforehand. Is it wasn't an automatic, oh great, the second team All-American from last year's out. It was, oh no, I don't know that I like that he's out, because I think what you just said is exactly what happened. I think some of these other guys said, great, we might get the ball and actually get to shoot a little bit instead of Haggerty pumping up 25 field goal attempts. And I thought Nate Johnson was the biggest recipient of that. He was really steady. He got you 16 points, but he flirted with a triple-double. He had 9 rebounds, also had 7 assists. Now, he had 5 turnovers as well. So West Virginia's press, which you don't see very often, was really effective at the end as they were trying to – it was really odd, Greg. It was just an odd night in front of what felt like a game being played during COVID. I mean, all due respect, there was nobody there, and I understand it. That program's in transition. I get it. But there was no atmosphere to speak of early. And then you've got a Kansas State team that wants to get up and down the floor and just throw it around and not really guard you and just take shots against a West Virginia team that wants to do the opposite. And in the second half, it flips. Out of necessity, West Virginia has to try and make it helter-skelter and chaotic, which they did. And you could just see the pain on the Kansas State players' faces. They didn't know how to let the air out of the ball, right? They're trying to break the pressure but not attack and bleed clock, and it was working against them, and it ends up West Virginia storming all the way back. Just a very odd night in Manhattan, and that'll go down as just obviously a really rough loss. That and the Utah loss are ones that are going to stick out and that ultimately cost you where you were hoping to get to at the end of this season. And you've given yourself life with that win over BYU, one of your best performances of the year, and quite frankly, just gave it back last night against K-State.
But it's such an odd league overall. I mean, again, West Virginia losing at Kansas State, but BYU team, I don't know if you can call it a free fall, but
no, I think you can call it a free fall.
It's struggling as they not only lost but got whacked really good at Cincinnati. And then what about UCF? That I think everybody's trying to anoint, team that comes in here on Friday night. They take a loss. It's one of those. Like Arizona State beats Kansas. I mean, how do you figure anything?
Well, you don't. It's super cliche, but we've been saying it all year, right? That this league, you can't go into these games in Manhattan and take it easy and think you've got to win because you'll get clipped. You can't take Utah lightly. You can't take Arizona. Arizona State's been dead 3 different times. Bobby Hurley's been getting fired, and he may end up still getting fired a million times. Wes Miller at Cincinnati was in tears after West Virginia, literal tears after West Virginia beat him. He's been fired twice. Both times West Virginia beat him, they were done. They were going to wear bags over their head to protest the Wes Miller regime, and yet here comes Cincinnati, might get itself into the NCAA tournament, one of the hottest teams in America. It is a wild, wild league, to your point. TCU goes in and beats Texas Tech, who was just coming off a massive win. Kansas State beats West Virginia. Cincinnati gets BYU. You mentioned Arizona State over Kansas. Just a wild slew of results. And Oklahoma State without Parsifala, its best player, it looked dead before it then beats West Virginia and turns around and beats a UCF team that's trying to fight for its NCAA tournament lives. Tough league, and there's just no nights off. And that's the thing, and we've said this about this West Virginia team. I give these guys a lot of credit. They have worked their tails off since June and put themselves in a position with the final week to have that goal in front of you of making a tournament. You came up short, obviously, but they've really gone after it. But you got right up to the edge of this. You got right up to the edge of the cliff, and that would have been a fun night Friday. It still will be, but fun night if you would have been playing for what could be an NCAA tournament bid. Here's what's wild, though, Greg. You can still finish 7th in this league.
Yeah.
Or 8th. You can still get a bye in the first round of the Big 12 tournament, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because you own tiebreakers with BYU, Cincinnati, and potentially UCF if you beat them on Friday night. Those 3 schools are all lumped together with West Virginia.
So, there's still something to play for Friday night besides just senior night.
Yeah, and I'm hoping the crowd will be good. I know it's sold out there. I know it's one of those sellouts. If people show up, that'll be a good atmosphere, and maybe you can finish on a positive note. All right, break to take. When we come back, we'll get into your texts about the game, 304-8255-304 if you'd like to weigh in, 304-TALK-304. We'll also get into a little football coming up, spring practice beginning on Saturday. We'll have a conversation about that. Take your thoughts about what you're looking forward to as the football team retakes the field coming up here in just a couple of days. Back after this on the CityNet statewide Sportsline. Running a small business means wearing a lot of hats, and dealing with tech problems shouldn't be one of them. CityNet helps West Virginia businesses keep their technology running smoothly, from networks and computers to backup, security, and day-to-day support. Whether you don't have IT staff or you have a small team that could use extra help, CityNet can take care of the technology or work alongside your team to fill in the gaps. With proactive monitoring, fast local support, and solutions built on CityNet's fiber network, your business stays productive instead of reactive. Call us at 1-844-CityNet to get started.
WVU Medicine Nephrology is committed to providing advanced kidney care at its primary location in Morgantown's Suncrest Town Center, and also at outreach sites in Buchanan, Clarksburg, Elkins, Fairmont, Flatwoods, Grafton, Kaiser, Moorfield, and Summersville in West Virginia, and Oakland, Maryland. Our expert team of nephrologists use the latest diagnosis and treatment methods. Call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/nephrology.
Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence. Make plans to join me this weekend at the 24th Annual Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show presented by Can-Am at Milan Park in Morgantown. Over 200 vendor booths and 100,000 square feet of shopping, all under one roof. Huge savings on everything outdoors, plus great prizes and seminars. And kids fish for free in the Academy Sports Trout Pond. The state's premier Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show is back this Saturday and Sunday at Milan Park in Morgantown. Doors open both days at 9 a.m.
Boating season is almost here, and there's no better place to start your family's adventure than Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Family owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer and true experts in boats, motors, and repairs. Explore their impressive inventory and score some of the best deals of the season right now. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com and get on the water in style. After all, the weekend's almost here.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
New year, new trucks. Start your year off with a new truck from Dan Cava Toyota World. Now lease a 2025 Tacoma for as low as $299 a month. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. It's your last chance to get a gas model 2025 RAV4. Don't miss out. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kercheval. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talkline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back in. CityNet Statewide Sportsline continues on a Wednesday night. Brad and Greg with you. We're live in our Health Plan studio where the Health Plan provides health coverage options and has been the most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Health Plan, a big part of the Mountain East Conference tournament up in Wheeling. It is underway as of today. Games happening as we speak. We're going to hear from Jack Withrow coming up here in just a few minutes with an update on what's happening in Wheeling. Greg, I'm excited to head up there. Got a couple games. I'm gonna actually go up because you know I love that event.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna try and wedge it in there. I'm gonna go up and do a game Friday at noon, and then hop in the car, come back, and then we'll get the UCF West Virginia game at night. Then I'll head back up and do the semifinal games as part of semifinal Saturday in the evening.
So if you're somewhere along the interstate between Wheeling and Morgantown, you see Brad broken down, somebody give him a ride so he can get to the Coliseum.
Yeah, if you're headed to the Coliseum. Now, why'd you put that out in the universe? Knock on wood. Thanks a lot, Coach Hunter. Thanks a lot. All right, let's get in some of these texts. 304-8255-304 if you'd like to weigh in. Football, basketball, baseball, whatever it is, we'll take your text. Baseball game canceled today against Marshall, by the way. I was looking forward to seeing that with a little baseball, but they'll be back in action this weekend.
Yeah, the 3-set against Columbia starting on Friday. But I know we had Steve Sabins on the show early. You know, obviously the situation with Radford caused that 2-game midweek series to be canceled, but he wanted to play games. And you were a baseball guy, especially this time of year. You just want to get games in, right?
Sure.
But going to have to wait until Friday to get further action.
Let's go to the text line. Texter says, Kansas State tried a million ways to gift it to West Virginia. Agree. I thought early on, it just felt like one of those, I'll say it because you can't prove it, right, Greg? That it felt like if you had just gotten half of those shots that you had, and again, it wasn't just the shots at the rim. The threes were wide open. I mean, they were just not interested in playing defense, to be brutally honest, to start that game. Kansas State I'm talking about. Had you got out to a 10 or 12-point lead there at the half, I think you would have been all right. I think that thing would have been like, okay, wash our hands here and walk away. And you just couldn't get separation. And then in the second half of the second half, when you were making that furious comeback, I did think for a minute there you were going to get all the way back and get that thing tied, and then that would have had a whole different vibe in that arena. But just wasn't to be, and you just couldn't get it over the top.
Got it all the way down to 3 and had a look.
Yeah. Texter says, I understand the whole drive and kick out philosophy, but it seems like we pass up some really easy shots in the lane that we could potentially also get to the free throw line on. So that's a good observation, and I share it with you from this standpoint. I know a lot of people, and I'm trying to explain this quickly. I know we don't have a ton of time. I did a breakdown on 3 guys before the game last week on this offensive philosophy and what you're trying to create, and the game against BYU really showed it easily. You could pick it up and see what the spacing is designed to do and what happens when you make shots and how you attack the specific matchup advantage you have. There's a lot of NBA principles in this offense on how you try and do this stuff, and it is predicated, just as every offense is, on making shots.
You got to make some shots.
You've got to finish the shot, and you've got to put it in. So it doesn't matter if the offense gets you a great look. If you miss the shot, it's going to be a problem, and at times it's going to look ugly, and I understand that. But it's not. Trust me, it's not the offensive system. It is working as designed to get you some looks and mismatches. Did again last night. You just didn't finish it off. But I do think that what the texter says there has happened a couple of times. I do think there's some confidence issues that arise when you miss a few of those, and then you get tentative and you try and take a good shot and turn it into a great shot, but it actually ends up making it a more difficult shot, and you would have been better off taking the first really good shot that presented itself. And mostly in the lane. Like, you're not going to come down and jack up a 3 in the first 10 seconds of the clock unless you're wide open and you're on her. Then you do it, right? But there are shots in the lane that our guys will pump fake, and you can just see the hesitation because they might have just missed a couple and they don't let it go. And I do think that happens, and then you end up with a kick out contested 3 that you have to put up. So I agree with the texter. I think when it's not going well offensively, that's something that kind of creeps in, is that you're maybe a little too tentative. Or one of the things Ross was on him about last night early, it got better later, when they were going to the basket, like, don't hesitate that thing and try and lay it up over somebody that's coming over that's athletic and can block a shot. Take that thing right down the middle of their chest and try and dunk the thing if you have to. And then eventually what do we see? We saw Chance do it a couple times. We saw Bilo do it a couple times. But right from the start, go try and put them into the basket with the ball.
Yeah, I mean, and I know I was listening to your broadcast call with Tony last night, and I know you referenced that a bunch of times, just playing through contact and playing with the physicality. And only a couple guys really do that consistently, right? Chance certainly sticks out, and then Bilo at times.
Yeah.
But
yeah, this team isn't filled with a bunch of drivers. I mean, that's why Chance is so valuable and why you continue to use him in his role when you need a spark off the bench offensively, because he is going to be the lone guy that attacks the rim. Steve from Philippi checking in. He says, how many freshmen could be first team all Big 12? He has at least 3. Flemings from Houston, DeBonsa from BYU, Pete from Arizona. Does Kansas's Darren Peterson get on the first team? That's an excellent question. He says he has Toppin on the first team, even though he got an injury and ended the season. Yeah, he says Arizona number 5, which I think is Burries. That Burries might end up first team ahead of Koa Pete.
Yeah, Pete's been hurt a lot, right?
Yeah, so Pete started out unbelievably well and then played through some injuries, and I thought Braden Burries has really come on. So I do think it's at least 3, and Peterson's going to be wild. I have a feeling voters on that will not vote him.
Because those are coaches, remember?
Yeah, I know.
They'll ding him a little bit.
I think
right?
they will. Although talent-wise, he's certainly on there. But I agree with the others. See, Flemings is on there. DeBonsa will be on there. And then I think Burries sneaks in there from Arizona. Toppin might be your player of the year. We had that discussion.
Even though he's been out for that length of time.
I don't know that I was on board with that. But who else would you give it to? You're not going to. It's not going to be DeBonsa. Their team hasn't done well enough. It's probably not Christian Anderson from Texas Tech. Houston, who would you give it to from Houston? Kingston Fleming's been their best player. I don't know that feels like player of the year, although I wouldn't hate it.
Arizona's the best team.
But they're kind of a sum of their parts.
Yeah.
Burries has probably had the best individual season. Jaden Bradley's might be the most valuable, but I don't know that either are player of the year there.
Nobody from Iowa State that's player of the year.
Jefferson's going to be first team all conference, but I don't know player of the year. They're not going to win the league.
Mm-hmm. Good question.
Kind of interesting. Fred in Clarksburg. If it wasn't for our 3 bad losses, we'd be in good shape. I agree. Says at home to a Baylor team who'd lost 8 in a row, 10-20 Utah team, and then K-State. Yeah, I agree with all those. And I'm counting the TCU and Oklahoma State losses stick in my craw as well. Now, TCU's winning some games. Jamie's doing a great job of just dragging a team with no offensive firepower to a pretty good finish in a league. Oklahoma State, obviously, with the win the other night, but that was a non-environment and a team that was really struggling. I think you let them off the hook too. But certainly I understand what you're saying there about Baylor. I didn't think Baylor came in. We got them in just a bad time. They were due and had some athletes. The Utah and the K-State ones, I agree with that. Those were tough. Texter. As a team, the Mountaineers did not appear to be engaged till the last quarter of the game. It's hard to figure out. I had so much to play for. Even if they beat UCF, they were right there. Yeah, I didn't sense that it was effort. I mean, it's this time of year. Yes, and there was a lot on the line, and these guys understood it, and they'd had great practices, and they felt before the game exactly as they felt every game to me. I have not seen a team here that has not given great effort. I just think they just didn't perform well early and didn't make shots, and that translated over.
Well, we haven't seen this team with consistency. And I said, I've never felt it's effort related, but, you have one good performance, which they did against BYU. It's almost been their course to turn around and have struggles, right?
Yeah, and I often say this in football and basketball in particular. I think the hardest thing in college sports to attain is consistency.
Yeah.
I think that's an underrated trait that most programs struggle to get, right? It is, and especially true in today's day and age with constant coaching turnover, constant roster turnover, and there's no bigger poster child for both of those than this basketball program, right? So I do think, yeah, you're right. Consistency's been a challenge. Yeah, this just in. Consistency's been a challenge. There's no question. Texter says, do you think West Virginia will play in any postseason tournament, assuming the NCAA doesn't happen? Got a couple of those. Yeah, I do think that's a possibility. I think the Crown tournament might be the most likely, but we'll have to see where that ends up. Some of it comes down to just rankings and where you stand and invites, but that Crown might have a chance. Texter, what I'm looking for from West Virginia football, a Rick Trickett signature offensive line. Oh, buddy,
that'd be nice.
We're going to talk a lot about Coach Trick and the offensive line. I haven't talked to you since we did a 3 guys event over at Buffalo Wild Wings on.
Was it Monday?
No,
you guys are Friday.
I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah,
now. Sometime last
soon.
week. So there was a wing eating contest. And there were some just general public members that participated, and there were some student athletes.
Okay.
Had a tremendous volleyball player, Anna Barr.
Okay.
Who has a little bit of stuff to her. I like her. Like she was talking early, and she was sitting. She got up there, and she was in the same flight as one of the football players. There were 2 football players. One was Nate Gabriel.
Okay.
He did a very fine job, represented
Big
himself well.
defensive lineman.
Yes. The other football player, speaking of offensive line, was Bubba Grayson.
Okay.
Who arrived with Rick Trickett from Jacksonville State. And I'm just going to make an early call. Like, you need to start your requests now to get my guy Bubba.
Bubba can go
to the media sessions.
Yeah.
Like he got a personality to him.
Right there.
And Greg, he got some. Like, he's a horse now.
Yeah.
He, like, you slap him on the shoulder, like, hey, Bubba, how you, like, it's a ba-boom. Like, you're hitting the brick wall there. So he was great. So he sits down. He's right next to Anna. So I'm going through the line before we're starting. I said, Bubba, how many are you going to eat? Or I said, Anna, how many are you going to eat? And she immediately doesn't deal with me and looks right at Bubba and says, well, how many is he going to eat? And so I look at him. I go, how many are you going to eat? He goes, I don't know, 30. And she goes, all right, I'm eating 32. She called her shot. Bubba took down 28 in, I think it was 8 minutes. You had 8 minutes.
Okay.
Bubba takes down 28. She took down 30. Went right head to head, called her shot.
She's never going to get a spike or a block again at the net.
Bubba says to me when we got done, I said, hey, that was a great effort. Thanks for doing that. Really fun. Thanks. He said, oh, no problem. I had a great time doing it. He said, next time, you got to get one of the big offensive linemen. He goes, I'm a skinny offensive lineman. You got to get one of the big guys. So anyway.
Let's see what he thinks is big.
Yeah, a little inside conversation there to Coach Hunter. Just go ahead and get Bubba Grayson on the list.
Be ready.
Yeah, enjoyed him. All right, more texts. We'll get back to those here coming up. But next, Jack Withrow's on deck. He's in Wheeling, getting ready to call some of the action from the MEC tournament, men's and women's underway. We'll get an update from West Banco Arena next on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Starting March 10th, Metro News brings you the 2026 West Virginia SSAC High School Basketball Championships, presented by Chick-fil-A.
First title for Spring Mills and boys basketball.
The best teams in the state will once again meet at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center to compete for the title in their respective classes. The girls' tournament runs March 10th through 14th. The boys play March 17th through the 21st. Catch all the games on the Metro News Radio Network and at WVMetroNews.com, where you'll also find up-to-the-minute scoring, stats, and brackets, the latest tournament news, and game recaps. Also, you can watch the live HD video streams of the class championships both Saturdays on Metro News Television.
The luck and skill of the Irish, they win the AA championship.
The 2026 West Virginia SSAC State High School Basketball Championships beginning March 10th, presented by Chick-fil-A, exclusively on Metro News, the voice of high school basketball in West Virginia.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. It makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
New year, new trucks. Save over $7,500 off on select Tundras or get 2.99% for 72 months. Come experience cars you can count on year after year. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
We're back as the CityNet Statewide Sportsline rolls on. Brad and Greg with you. We'll get back into your text here in just a bit. Got a little more football to talk about. But first, let's head up to Wheeling, West Banco Arena, where we're joined by our good buddy Jack Withrow is in attendance for the Mountain East Conference Tournament. He'll be calling the game coming up here in just a bit. But first, let's get an update on what's been going on during the day. Jack, good evening and welcome into the program.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Well, give us we do want to do kind of an overall tournament preview, but since we are underway, maybe just give us a quick update of what you've seen so far, and I'll kind of run down the scores here real quickly. The noon game started off with number 7 Frostburg State defeats Point Park, the 10 seed, 78-68 in women's action, and then West Lib defeats West Virginia State 78-72 in the second game of the session. What stood out to you women's side those first two games?
Well, I guess the key to winning is score 78 points today.
Good point.
These games are going to be competitive this week, and especially on the women's side. They've been competitive all year long in the Mountain East Conference, but that's what I saw today. Very competitive two games to start the tournament off with. Of course, you said Frostburg State, the number 7 seed, moves on with a 10-point victory. They started out slow in the first quarter. They were down 4, but then the second and third quarter, they outscored Point Park 21-9, 24-12. They ended up shooting the ball 51% from the field. So they came back and got the victory against Point Park. Of course, they move on now to take on number 2 West Virginia Wesleyan. That's the noon game tomorrow in the women's quarterfinal. Then the other one, the one that Daniel Woods and I had to call on, another competitive game, the number 8 and number 9 seeds, West Liberty getting the victory 78-72. West Liberty, they've got one of the probably better post players in the league, and she's just a redshirt freshman, Reagan Vinskovich. She came in tonight scoring, or this afternoon, 24 points, 8 rebounds. And then they've got a senior second-team All-MEC player in Anna Lucarelli. Lucarelli had 20 points. She just provides that senior leadership for Cal Cooper's team. Of course, they move on to tomorrow, and they get number 1 Glenville State as their prize for tomorrow and the 6 o'clock game tomorrow.
You referenced Kyle Cooper there for our listeners that are Mountaineer fans there. Kyle Cooper, former WVU women's team manager here when he was in school, so he has gone on and headed up that West Liberty program here for a while. Okay, Jack, let's look at tonight's games coming up. Frostburg State, West Virginia State, a 7-10 matchup there underway from West Banco Arena, and then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're on the call for number 8-9, Davis Elkins Point Park. What are you looking for in both of those?
Yeah, Frostburg State and West Virginia State, right now it's halftime, just went to halftime, and Frostburg State, the number 7 seed, leading West Virginia State 46-36, and Frostburg State got out to a big lead, up 18, with a little over 4 minutes to go in the first half, but then West Virginia State cut it back down to 10 points, so it's a 10-point advantage for Frostburg State tonight. The 8-9 seed, and this should be probably the most entertaining game, at least for today, maybe all week. Davis and Elkins, the 8 seed, and Point Park, both of these teams have talent up and down their lineup. Of course, Trey Simmons, or let's see, I'm talking about Davis and Elkins. Of course, they've got Vegas Evans, a 6'7" senior, averages almost 16 points a game, 8 rebounds. He's one that likes to impose his will on the other team, kind of like an alpha dog out there. He'll be fun to watch. And then Point Park, the 6'5" senior, Aiden Anderson, almost 19 points a game for him. Also kind of likes to impose his will on the other team. Both of them can get to the baskets anytime they want.
So, Jack, we know, as it has been year in and year out, the men's side of the MEC is the best offensive league in the country. But once you get into the postseason, sometimes defense starts to step up a little bit more. What's the anticipation now that we're into the conference tournament? Defense more effective here, or is this still going to be an offensive show?
I think defense, we've seen in the past, Greg, that defense kind of steps up here in the tournament in Wheeling. You've seen, like I said, you've seen it in the past. I mean, there's some teams in the conference that kind of pride themselves on playing defense. Of course, I see one all the time in James Long's Charleston team. They really pride themselves on defense, but they can score. They average in the mid-80s. So you see a little bit of both this week. But like you said, I mean, it's a league that prides themselves on scoring, in the 90s and the hundreds almost every week here.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Stay on the men's side here for a second. We'll see number 2 Fairmont State coming up. I'll have that game at noon against the winner of this Frostburg West Virginia State game, the 7-10. That's at noon. Then at 2:30, number 3 Wheeling, the surprise in the league this year with our buddy Chris Richardson winning Coach of the Year honors. And Greg, I've said it all season, is first reported by me during the Wheeling and West Virginia exhibition game. You could see that Wheeling team was much better than it's been. And Chris and his guys did a wonderful job. The 3 seed, they'll take on Todd May and number 6 Concord. Then you get number 1 West Liberty against the winner of that 8-9 game, Jack, that you're calling. And then you mentioned your Golden Eagles down there of James Long, number 4 seed, will take on Glenville State. That could be a really interesting game, too. Obviously, the 4-5 usually lends itself to a good one, but Charleston-Glenville State's one to look forward to as well, isn't it?
Yeah, you got Bob Boland on the other side, the head coach at Glenville State, and it kind of plays out like it did last year. These two teams played each other in the opening round last year, and Glenville State got the best of Charleston.
Yeah, I agree with you. And how about number 1 West Liberty? Mike Lamberti returns there in his first year, does what West Liberty does, takes home the number 1 seed, although they did drop a game to Wheeling in the final regular season game. What have you seen out of West Liberty this year?
The same old thing. It's the system. Lamberti's been in the system. Of course, he went down to Coker before coming back to West Liberty. So you're going to see a lot of the same thing, 94 feet all game long. They're going to be in your face, active hands, trying to steal the ball and getting buckets in transition, and they can hit threes. So
yeah, should be a lot of fun. Our guy Tim Koenig has Fairmont State rolling as well. All right, Jack, we appreciate you taking some time. Good luck on your call. We'll be watching tonight, and then I'll see you up there coming up on Friday. We appreciate you joining us, bud.
No problem. We'll see you guys.
All right, there he is, Jack Withrow, checking in West Banco Arena in Wheeling. You can watch all of these games if you head over to mountaineast.org. They'll be there. And then, as I mentioned, coming up later in the week, those games will be on Sportsnet Pittsburgh as well, men's and women's. I think I misspoke. I think I said today was quarterfinal. This is opening round. Quarterfinal for the women come up tomorrow. Quarterfinal for the men coming up on Friday. Break to take. When we come back to the text line, and we'll talk a little football as well as the CityNet statewide sports line rolls on.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
At the Health Plan, we are here for you, and we have been one of the most trusted carriers for over 40 years. Headquartered right here in West Virginia, providing exceptional health coverage and local customer service.
The Health Plan, we are here for you.
The Mountain East Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament presented by the Health Plan is back at Wheeling's West Banco Arena, March 4th through the 8th. Past men's basketball national finalists West Liberty and Fairmont State, and 2022 women's basketball national champion Glenville State will be featured from the highest scoring NCAA Division II basketball conference in the country. Visit westbancoarena.com for advanced tickets and Tournament Central at mountaineast.org for tournament information, stories, results, event schedule, streaming, and television broadcast information. Join us for the Mountain East Conference Basketball Championships presented by the Health Plan, March 4th through the 8th at West Banco Arena in Wheeling.
Life doesn't always follow a straight path, but that doesn't mean your college degree is out of reach. Concord University's Regents Bachelor of Arts program helps adults finish what they started by turning work experience, military training, and professional certifications into college credit. Graduates move on to meaningful careers in education, business, healthcare, law enforcement, and more. Don't start over, move forward. Visit concord.edu/RBA to get started. Concord University. Come to learn, go to serve.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hi, I'm Chris Lawrence. Make plans to join me at the Mountain States premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show presented by Can-Am, Saturday and Sunday, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Over 200 vendor booths and 100,000 square feet of everything outdoors, all under one roof. Great prizes, seminars, and kids fish for free in the Academy Sports Trout Pond. It's the 24th annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown. Doors open both days at 9 a.m.
The Mountain East Conference men's and women's basketball tournament returns to Wheeling from March 4th through the 8th. Westbanco Arena will serve as the host of one of the nation's premier basketball leagues, featuring one of the highest scoring conferences in America. Action begins on Wednesday, March the 4th, and concludes on Sunday, when 2 champions will be crowned. For advance tickets, go to westbancoarena.com. Visit mountaineast.org for tournament information. The 2026 Mountain East Conference Basketball Championships, presented by the Health Plan.
On the next State of Minds.
I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
Welcome back. Final segment, sitting at statewide Sportsline. I know we say it every year, but Mountain East, first of all, I know you share my love for the league and fun being a part of that, but there is just always Mountaineer connections all over that. We mentioned Kyle Cooper, mentioned James Long. Chris has a tie as not only an alum, but he worked for you covering WVU before he got into the coaching side of things there. So always connections up and throughout that league.
Down, and we're just touching probably the upper layer of all the connections between WVU and in that league.
Well, a couple of ones moved on. Our buddy Mark Richmond, who was at Notre Dame for a long time as the head coach, he's at Youngstown State on the bench. He was a student manager here under multiple head coaches at West Virginia, Beeline and Huggs.
And then think of the feeder system that that league has been. Again, people with WVU ties, but not just then. You know, Joe Mazzulla got his coaching start in that league. You know, I forget where he is right now, but he's probably doing pretty well.
I think he's doing all right. Rob Summers.
Yep, Rob Summers.
Started in
Jared
that league.
Calhoun is about ready to jump up to the Power Four.
Yeah,
after his time at Fairmont State. I mean, it's amazing what that league is produced.
Yeah, and that's just the men's side. You flip over to the women's side, obviously what Kim Caldwell's done at Glenville State, winning a world's championship, and now at Tennessee after success at Marshall. Becky Burke, who was at the University of Charleston, has gone on. She's now the Arizona head coach. So it is a great league, to say nothing of Jim Crutchfield, who has gone on and just slapped up their 100th straight win at home.
So that 100th home victory
at Nova Southeastern. Our buddy Ben Howlett, who is a frequent guest on this program, is at the Division I level at IU Indy. So yeah, you're right, Greg. It continues to be a cradle of great coaches, and it has certainly turned out some coaches on both sides, men's and women, that have gone on to great success. Texter says Tyler Chang. He's on Chris's bench up at Wheeling, former
good one.
Student assistant at WVU as well. So you're right. Thank you, Texter, for that one. Duggan Winfield's checking in. He's asking that same question. Would there be a postseason tournament potential for this Mountaineer team? Yes, I think is the short answer. As it stands now, there's a lot of time between now and that decision being made, and you got to make sure you have a roster and that guys are going to stick around, especially as senior laden as this team is. You need to make sure you have those guys around to be able to pursue it. But selfishly, I mean, you know me, the more games, the better. Like, keep playing this thing. I'm all for it, whatever the tournament looks like.
Yeah.
Even though there'd be disappointment if you don't get all the way to the NCAA.
That crown's interesting. Now, it's not as big as it was last year. Last year it was a 6-team event. This year it's an 8-team event. And someone told me about that recently. I didn't realize it had gotten cut. So there are fewer spots in that last year because it was heavy Big 12 last season. 5 of those spots went to Big 12 teams. Obviously, there won't be quite as many this year.
But there'll be a couple in there, and that could be a potential landing spot. There's some money to be made in that for your program too that come out of that. So that would be one to keep an eye on, I would think, as we get here through the final regular season game and then through the Big 12 tournament. All right, what else football-wise are you looking forward to? This is going to be. I'm going to say that to you. How you want to do an over-under on how many times I'm going to ask you that from now until we get to the first game? It's 13.5, and you probably take the over.
Oh gosh, way over.
But some of this will change. I think it'll move a little bit. We're going to always say offensive line. I know we're going to say quarterback, and then that offense is remade. But what else do you kind of want to see out of this group as we go through spring?
I mean, literally everything. There are 3 players who started West Virginia's regular season finale who are still on the roster. 3. 2 offensive linemen, and Nick Cray and Landon Livingston and Scotty Fox at quarterback. Everybody else, there isn't a single returning starter to the defensive side. You got a few guys who've played, but you don't have a safety that was on the roster last year who is on your roster right now. I mean, there are a couple of them who were sort of played a little safety, but they're actually corners, right? I mean, you're just remaking everything. We talk about wide receiver. How good are some of these new wide receivers? Because outside of a Jaden Bray, who's, you just got to hope he stays healthy. After that, you need some playmakers. Even if the offensive line's really good and the running back situation works out like you hope it does, you got to have some playmakers at wide receiver.
Now, would you
Who
stop?
are those
Would you
guys?
stop worrying about wide receiver? You're going to line up, just run the ball right down people's throats.
Okay, well,
you got a great offensive line. You got multiple guys. You got a quarterback, either one that can move, and you got great running. You got star running backs here.
How good?
Nation's leading rusher is here, Coach Hunter.
How good is Cam Cook? How good is Amari
Latimer?
I'm really anxious to see all these freshmen. I mean, the guys that we know so much about: Kevin Brown, Matt Sieg, Latimer. I mean, are they as good as advertised?
Need to be.
And ready to go. I mean, we expect them to be major portions of this team. But I mean, when you have there's 63 newcomers in the spring, I'm just anxious to see all of those guys. So we don't know them.
And then we get another one, which I love, when there's quarterback questions, right? Those are always fun. And Hawkins certainly has the requisite skill set. Now you need to see it play out, not only on the field, but as a guy, if he's going to end up winning the starting job, can he lead as the starter? What does Scotty Fox look like? This is always fun too, right?
Year 2.
Because we don't get it a lot anymore.
Yeah.
You're coming back for year 2. You played a lot as a freshman. You showed some promise, especially late. How big was the jump from year 1 to year 2? And remember, I told you I was out there at the first day of spring practice last year, and it was evident from minute 1 when he threw the ball that he had the best arm on that team. What's it look like this year, first day of spring practice? Is there a noticeable difference in him? The command of the offense. Think of the difference in mindset for him from where he was, which is always the case, freshman to sophomore, but from a quarterback that was thrown into the fire like he was and had to play so much, I'm anxious to see how that quarterback battle shapes up.
Yeah, I mean, because your head's just swimming, especially last spring, right? He got here in January, a couple months later, he's trying to decipher this new offense, which he actually wasn't recruited for, right? And then he gets here and before the fall's out, he's your starter.
True.
First time in 70 years true freshman starts. But so where is his progress? How does Hawkins fit in? I mean, every position has those type of questions.
You said it right. Literally everything is the answer. We will look at every position group, and it's one of those, absent of a team that is expected to contend, it does make for a fun process spring and summer because there's a lot of intrigue. There should be some hope. There should be some optimism coming. We're going to have a fun time keeping track of this as we move throughout the spring. That begins on Saturday. Rich Rod version 2.0, season 2 gets underway, and we'll be here to track it all the way through the spring. All right, we're out of here. Thanks for joining us. Great text tonight. Appreciate you joining us. Back tomorrow. See you.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.